A drive ending poorly for Rashee Rice? I feel like I've heard that story before. Welcome to the Week 4 Game Show. I am your host, Dominic Anthony, and this video is going to be quite short because this week was boring as fuck. Yeah, it really was. Thank God the MLB playoffs are starting because holy Christ, this week was terrible. But we got our handy wheel here, and we're going to do what we typically do, spin it, and we'll see what we talk about first. And our first spin is number 6. Alright, well at least we get to start with something good. We got our matchup of the week. I'm sorry that we got to start with the matchup of the week because the rest of this video is going to suck now. But anyways, the Lions took on the Seahawks on Monday Night Football, which brought us the best game of the week. The Lions beat the Seahawks 42-29, and that means no one was beating Goff this week. And don't forget, beating Goff is a sin. Jared Goff came in and threw 18 for 18, 292 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yes, he had a perfect completion percentage. I can't even believe it. And he threw almost 20 passes. It's not like he threw for a small amount of yards either, almost hitting 300. Somehow, this doesn't get you a perfect passer rating, but that's for another story. On top of that, he caught a touchdown pass. This was an incredible game and very high scoring. Of course, it had to wait until the end of the week to happen because Sunday was like torture watching football. Geno Smith threw the ball 56 times, perfectly summarizes how much offense there was during this game. No defense whatsoever. Next section. It is time for a new segment called The Coach's Challenge, where I challenge decisions from coaches. And this week, I'm challenging Shane Steichen's idea to run an RPO with Anthony Richardson after he just got hurt earlier in the drive. For me, it seems like he was putting a hit out on him because he knew he had the GOAT, the God, Joe Flacco. Because Anthony Richardson couldn't complete a pass, but at the end of the day, Anthony Richardson still managed to have more passing yards on 3 completions than Bo Nix. Yes, I'm being serious. But Joe Flacco came into the game and pretty much game managed. The Steelers, I don't know what that was, honestly. I don't know where the defense went. Joe Flacco, I know he was good last season, but he's not Christ. Speaking of Joe Flacco, he gets the beating the washed allegations award. Did anybody ever say he was washed? Probably not, especially after last season. But he's still proving he's not washed. Wanna who is washed? Russell Wilson. Because Russell Wilson is injured and already lost his job to Justin Fields. Justin Fields is balling this season. He had a great game against the Colts, and it's making it pretty obvious that he should be the starter over Russell Wilson. But seriously, Steichen, he got hurt earlier in the drive on a run, so you decide to run him again. That's just pure retardedity. Yes, I'm making up a word because it's so fucking dumb. Next section is the ass kicking of the week, which is going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. This honestly is just kind of crazy. I didn't expect them to lose this bad. They got ass fucked. Yeah, it was that bad. There was a point in time where the Bucs had 200-something yards and the Eagles had 0. Yes, I'm being serious. Jalen Hurts did not play a very good game this week at all as well. And my Jamarcus Russell award is actually going to CJ Gardner-Johnson, who has been talking a lot of shit before games, but he just gave up his 4th touchdown of the season. Wanna know who doesn't talk shit? Xavier McKinney. And wanna know what he has 4 of? Interceptions. So maybe, instead of talking crap, focus on getting picks and be more like Xavier McKinney. But anyways, Baker Mayfield went in and absolutely put a beat down on those Philadelphia Eagles. With a score of 33-16, Jalen Hurts did not cook shit. No quarterbacks really played bad this week, but if I had to pick somebody besides Tyler Huntley, it'd probably be Jalen Hurts because I don't even know what he was trying to do today. On the topic of this game, my depressed fan of the week goes to Bears fans because Tom Brady, during this game while he was announcing, said that the Bears offered him a $10 million contract to go play in Chicago. Yeah, I feel like that just perfectly summarizes it. And yes, he did go and win a Super Bowl with the Bucs that year. So, Bears fans, probably pretty depressed after that, especially seeing what's been going on with their quarterback situation. By the way, Caleb played a little bit better, but not looking great. Anyways, as a Packers fan, that makes me happy because the Bears, I didn't have to see them succeed. So, thank you, Tom. even though you beat us in the NFC Championship. At least I didn't see the Bears succeed. For our next section, it's time for which teams are actually good. And starting, we have two teams from the same game. We got the Commies and the Cards. The Commies, they're a good damn football team. Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Week, once again. Probably going to be Rookie of the Year if it's not Malik Neighbors by the end of this year. Now, let me say, I did say Jaden Daniels was going to be good. You know, I did say it. He would be the best quarterback out of this class. You know, once again, being read again. Are we really surprised? But these Commies are a good damn football team. The defense played pretty good, surprising. The Cardinals' offense is supposed to be high-powered. Jaden Daniels has the best completion percentage in history throughout 4 games at an 82%. That is unbelievable. Scary Terry finally has a good quarterback, so good for him. But the Cardinals, on the other hand, doesn't look like they're good. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a Jonathan Gannon problem. Kyler isn't playing bad. I just don't understand what's happening. I guess the defense is getting pieced up, but, I mean, the offense isn't playing bad. I guess it's just the defense. I don't really understand what the problem is. And for our last team, in which teams are actually good, is the New Orleans Saints. This team is certainly interesting. I mean, I don't think they're a bad team. They're just sloppy. And they lost to the Falcons, who didn't put up a single offensive touchdown. And Derek Carr outplayed Kirk Cousins in this game as well. Somehow, that was possible, even though they had pretty much the same stat line. Tyler Algier showing that he is the actual better pure runner than Bijan Robinson, and Bijan Robinson owners in fantasy are probably pissing and shitting everywhere. But there was just a lot of sloppy play during this game, and the main reason the Falcons won this game is because of Young Hos. I mean, because of Young Wei Koo. So pretty much Young Hos, because this dude is automatic. He nailed a 58-yarder in the clutch to win this game. Maybe if the Saints had better special teams, this wouldn't be a problem. Maybe they should consider that. For our next section, let's see what we got. It's time for the Playbook's Finest 5, where I break down 5 of the plays during the week that I enjoyed most. Number 5 is this Josh Allen trick play. Why are we doing trick plays with Josh Allen? Himself is a trick play. He's just that good. But yeah, let's do a pitch to a stationary quarterback who ended up fumbling. McDermott, I don't know what you were cooking up, but don't ever cook it again. Number 4, Jared Goff with a receiving touchdown, even while putting up amazing passing stats. That just made it even better. Number 3, this Justin Jefferson touchdown. As a Packers fan, I have to be able to take notice when there are crazy good plays. And this, oh my goodness, this play got me chubbed up. Not really at the moment. I kind of crashed out, but this throw was absolute butter. He put it in the perfect spot where Keyshawn Nixon could not get to the ball, and Justin Jefferson just literally had to catch it. That's quite a good play. Number 2, Matt LaFleur crashing out on the refs for not calling a timeout when he called for a timeout. Is this understood? Completely. But at the same time, it's kind of funny because that is the first time I've seen him crash out like that. And for the Will Levis Award given to the biggest what the fuck play during the week, we got Justin Fields doing the splits in the middle of the Colts field. Why did this happen? I don't know. He ran backwards 20 yards and then did a split, got a really good picture of his ass, and then fumbled the ball. Yes, this really happened. This was probably one of the funnier plays during the week, and honestly, that was something Will Levis would do, and I'm surprised it didn't happen. On the topic of Will Levis, he got hurt, but he, of course, had to leave us with some good memes. He's on a generational run right now. But one who isn't on a generational run? The Dolphins, because this team is poopy ass, and I don't want to watch them anymore. They were somehow the worst team this week, beating out the Patriots, who got ass fucked by the Niners. The Dolphins were really that bad. They got outclassed by the Titans by a lot. Tyler Huntley did not play good. There's just not a lot to talk about in that game. It was just pure ugliness. And Tyreek Hill is probably going to reach out to that officer that handcuffed him to handcuff him again so he doesn't have to play for this team without Tua. Next section. Time for the toilet bowl of the week. Jets, Broncos. This game was a game. Bo Nix. I mentioned this before, he threw for 60 yards on 12 attempts. Yes, the weather was bad, and this is why I didn't give him the Jamarcus Russell Award, because I'll give him a little bit of slack because the weather was so bad. But the fact that the Jets still lost this game with Bo Nix only throwing 60 yards is quite hilarious. And Aaron Rodgers is starting to question why he went to the Jets if he wanted to go somewhere good, because the Jets are just not it. They never will be, and it's honestly kind of funny. Robert Saleh might be a problem over there as well. But, funny stat, Courtland Sutton had 60 receiving yards. Yeah, that matches the amount of yards Bo Nix threw for, which means Bo Nix threw for negative yards to some players. In the first half, he threw for negative yards. Yeah, I'm dead serious. This game was just horrendous, and there wasn't any action until really the end of the game, where they both missed 50-yard field goals, and that ended the game. Yeah, certainly one of the games of all time. Next section. It's time for Who Wants to Play to Their Level. This is a new section where I talk about teams that are supposed to be good but didn't play good this week. First team being the Buffalo Bills. Genuinely, what was that? You got walloped by King Henry and Lamar Jackson. It was ugly. And even their defense owned you. Their defense, which is supposed to not be good as of lately. You got walked by their defense. I don't know if it was just a game hangover or something, but that was ugly. Josh Allen did not play good, and, those MVP chants might have gone away now, because Sam Darnold played a good game and Josh Allen did not, so he kind of fell out of the running for a little bit, but who knows? He should be able to pick it up, but please clean this shit up next week. I don't want to see this team be bad. And the other team is the Steelers, who are supposed to be good, but we all know the tale of the Steelers. They love to play down the competition, always. They love to play down to old, decrepit men such as Joe Flacco. Yes, Joe Flacco is back for another season of wonderful football, and I am so in for it. But at the end of the day, the Steelers did not play a good game. The offense looked okay, but the defense, I don't know what happened. They kind of just shit themselves. Next section. It's time for the hot seat. And yes, the hot seat is new. The hot seat is for coaches who probably should lose their jobs soon. The first coach is Doug Pederson. I already mentioned this, that he needs to lose his job because Trevor Lawrence sucks now. I don't know what happened. This Jags team is putrid. They're 0-4. They're worse than the Titans. The Titans won a fucking game this week, and the Jags couldn't. Even though they played the Texans, I didn't really give them a chance at all for them to win this game, but still. They put up a fight at least, but it's not pretty over there in Jacksonville. And the next coach is Mike McDaniel. This might be a little bit of a stretch, but without Tua, he can't do shit. Yes, the quarterback play hasn't been good, but still, he might be a Tua merchant. It's very possible, because if he's a Tua merchant, and Tua's a merchant of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, that means the organization is fucked completely without Tua. That's kind of funny to think about. Anyways, for our next section, it's time for the Bench of Fame. The Bench of Fame is the Hall of Fame for players who played like they were on the bench. And this week, oh man, Kyle Pitts. I thought you were going to be good once Kirk Cousins came. Holy crap, I was wrong. Do you want to do anything with your life? 0 receptions, 0 yards, and he had targets too. Do you want to do anything? Like, I'm genuinely curious. You're supposed to be one of the greatest tight end prospects ever, and you haven't done anything to show for it. Congrats, Kyle. You are the first Bench of Fame victim. And for the rapid fire round, starting with the 49ers, who went and absolutely ass-kicked the Patriots. The Patriots were going to get the worst team of the week, but didn't have to because the Miami Dolphins exist. So you could thank your division counterparts for that, but this was just ugly. The defense absolutely demolished your offensive line, and, the Niners just did what the Niners usually do and beat up on bad teams. Not saying they don't beat good teams, but they beat up on the bad teams when they need to. Browns, Raiders. The Browns, Deshaun Watson is still being cursed by God because he is a rapist. And honestly, it's good for him because fuck Deshaun Watson. The Raiders didn't really have to do much to win this game. They just literally had to score points and let Deshaun Watson do whatever the hell he wanted. Even though some plays weren't his fault, the Raiders literally just had to game manage, and that's what they did. Bears, Rams. This game certainly existed. I mean, I didn't really hear much about it because it was kind of low-key. But Caleb Williams did not even throw for 200 yards. He was a lot better this game. DeAndre Swift, they finally got the run game going, but honestly, there just isn't too much to talk about in this game. It was kind of meh. It's kind of boring. Stats were about even, nothing really interesting in this game. But the only thing I can say about this game is that the Bears did a good draft pick with their punter. He's pretty good. Chiefs, Chargers. Patrick Mahomes managed to injure his best receiver, which now forces Kelsey to actually play football. I'm so sorry for you, Travis, that you're such a good tight end, you actually have to play the sport you're paid for. I feel so sorry for you. But this game kind of just happened. I didn't really notice it much. The only thing I did notice was our crash out of the week, which is Justin Herbert, who crashed out on the sidelines because he had to play Patrick Mahomes. I think that's the best way to put it, because this game was ugly. They didn't really do much, and Justin Herbert had a little bit of a shit fit. Giants, Cowboys, this game was boring. Boring. I don't even want to talk about this game. Malik Neighbors got a concussion, and, field goals. Yeah, that's really it. Brandon Aubrey's still the GOAT. Panthers, Bengals. Honestly, this game was quite interesting. It was a good game, surprisingly. Even though the score doesn't show that it was exactly close, the Panthers were putting up a pretty damn good fight almost the whole game. But at the end of the day, the team with the better roster is going to win, and that's what happened. Chuba Hubbard is a good running back all of a sudden. Andy Dalton still showing that he's better than Bryce Young, but didn't get his revenge game, which is honestly unfortunate. And this game consisted of my quote of the week, where Jamar Chase got asked about him having baby oil on.
Jamar, did you have baby oil on today?
No. We got to keep that for somebody else, bro. Yeah, that's not my question right there. I did do it as a kid, though. We can't even ask that no more, bro. It's too much going on in life right now with that, man. We can't do that.
Yes, this is a real thing. And I think at the time of this, it just makes it even funnier. Because my boy Diddy. No. Sorry. Not my boy Diddy. I wasn't a part of those, I promise. Diddy, well, he had a lot of fucking oil in his house. So, apparently, Jamar Chase knows Diddy. And he stole all the oil from his house and put it on before going out for this play. And that's why the Panthers couldn't tackle him. Jamar Chase wasn't too happy about talking about it because it seems like he's guilty and he's been at one of those Diddy parties. Now, it's time to get into the rest of these awards. For our 2017 Browns Award, the worst team this week goes to the Dolphins. I've already mentioned it enough. This team blows without Tua, and there's honestly nothing they can do. So I guess just pack it up for the season and call it quits. Maybe even draft a new quarterback if you have to. Maybe go sign his brother. That could be a good idea. Fraud of the week goes to Jalen Hurts because he's a fraud. He hasn't played good this season, and this game further pushed that agenda. He had just not a very good game with a 52 QBR. It was pretty poop. And for our MVPs of the week, our offensive MVP is Derrick Henry, who ran for over 200 yards, had an 87-yard rushing touchdown in the first play of the game for the Ravens offense, which is the longest rushing touchdown in Ravens history. Derrick Henry had hell of a game and was the reason they pretty much won that game. And our defensive MVP of the week is Fred Warner. He had a great game. Fred Warner, who had a pick and a couple of tackles, was a huge playmaker in this game. Even though he got hurt, there just wasn't a lot of crazy defensive performances this week. I guess my runner-up could be Vita Vea, because he was an absolute beast on the defensive line this week. Besides that, there's really nothing to talk about. And for my moment of the week is Jordan Love coming into the game with a Brett Favre jersey and then going out and playing exactly like him. In a good way and a bad way, where he had 3 picks and he had multiple touchdowns and almost 400 yards passing. Honestly, he did a pretty good job representing Brett Favre. Kind of like how he did in the NFC divisional round last year, but we don't talk about that. Anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. Come back tomorrow for my Week 5 preview, where I have to not get punished this week, thank God, but you could see me make terrible locks and picks again and see my shitty 5 and my superior 5. I'll see you guys tomorrow and watch my MLB video that I posted for the MLB playoffs. See you guys.